What's up guys, Darkdally here, playing Ghost Recon Wildlands, and today my goal is to, as accurately as possible, demonstrate the difference in bullet drop between different sniper rifles. Now this is an incredibly difficult task, and I'm going to tell you up front, all the points, why it's difficult, and why probably pretty much everyone has done it wrong so far, although I can't say I've seen every video measuring it. Let me explain to you the problems that occur in measuring sniper rifle bullet drop, and the parameters I use to try to, get around that. Okay, so the first thing I did was every sniper rifle here, I still have the MSR equipped because I actually just finished the test. I finished the test, realized that it was almost impossible and had to redo completely everything, and so I'm filming this after it's already done. Here I have the MSR. I broke every weapon down completely stock, and I used the T5XI scope, simply because it zooms in the farthest, and I wanted one constant thing between every rifle. I aimed at this wall from the end of the runway at 350 meters. Now, I had a marker right here at the very top of the wall. I would take each shot. Now, the reason you can't measure it through the scope, when you zoom in, you can't measure with the scope because the scope appears different on every weapon. So let me just go ahead and get that out of the way. Let me show you what I'm talking about right now. This here is a view through the T5XI scope mounted on different rifles. Notice how different the crosshairs appear on each one? Yeah. So it makes it completely impossible. Now, if I just use this MSR, and I can learn which mil dot it hits at which range, but I cannot carry that over to another rifle, nor can I compare it. I can't say, oh, the 115, the L115 has more or less drop because of where it hit on the crosshairs. You can't compare it because their scopes are completely different. So you can't compare them with the scopes whatsoever. And in fact, that actually goes with all of the optics in the game. And this is one thing that threw a huge wrench in the works. What I was doing is, what I will be doing in this video is I'm taking a shot with each rifle at 350 meters, which is the end of that runway. And that's a decent range to get some good drop. Shooting at this wall with a marker placed, of course, on the wall, so I knew exactly how far I was shooting. I approach the wall at exactly 30 meters, get my binoculars, zoom in 4 times, and take a screenshot. The goal was to compare all the screenshots and use an image editing program to use multiple layers and layer all the bullet holes on the wall, because they're going to disappear as you go, right? Well, here, let me show you on the screen right now. Here is the result of that. As soon as I saw the screenshots after my testing, I knew, nope. It's the same with the binoculars as it is with the scope. There's no reliable optics in this game you can use for measurement. You see how different those screenshots are. They are so vastly different. So this has taken me all day. So here's what I've done, and what I've decided is the only actual real way to do this is I took all of those screenshots, I drew with graph paper the wall, and I marked where every bullet hit, and I created a graphic for you, which I'm going to show you at the end. Once we get all the data, I'm going to show you that graphic, and that's as accurate as it can be. Yes, it was drawn by hand, but it's the only way to do it. All the optics in the game are completely unreliable. If you want to accurately see where each of these hits, each bullet hole is ticked off on the grid. I made these bricks on a piece of graph paper. I made these bricks 4x2 grids and marked where each bullet hole hits. It's really, guys, it's as accurate as I could possibly do this. I'm trying to hurry through this because I want to get to the video and show you what I'm talking about. More importantly, let's find out, which sniper rifle has the most drop. Because let me tell you right now, I'll tell you right now as a teaser, they're all different. There's only a couple that hit in the exact same spot, and it's vast. I'll tell you right now, there are sniper rifles that were hitting there, and sniper rifles that were hitting there. Yeah, from 350 meters. There's a humongous difference, guys. So let's go ahead and check that out. So thus, we can't use a scope whatsoever to compare bullet drop across rifles, okay? That's what I'm getting at. So if we want to compare bullet drop across rifles, the only way to do it, the way I see it, is to set a mark. Now, I have this mark set right at the top of that wall, and it looks like it's over the wall, but yeah, it actually is on the wall. It's just right directly above it. And we're going to have to compare physical bullet holes on this wall. But that's the way I see it, totally fair, right? And we're going to take them all from the same position. We're going to take them all from the prone position, simply because it's easier to aim there. Now, I had noticed some variation in where the bullets hit depending on your stance, but I think it's pretty much safe to say that anyone who's shooting anything is going to be shooting prone, right? So that's how we're going to do it. So 350 meters is about the end of this runway. I'm here in Villa Verde at Villa Verde City. This is one of the couple of airports in the game. These are really good to test this on because the ground is perfectly flat, so there's no variation, you know, in elevation or anything like that that we have to worry about. So let's just start from the top of the list with the M40 and work our way down. Hopefully I've laid all the parameters out. Now these are all stock completely. Let me make sure. The M40, if I recall, well, let's just find out. Reset parts. Yeah, the M40 actually is stock with the suppressor. Let's go ahead and take that off because none of the other ones come stock with a suppressor. So let's just go ahead and take this off. And what we're going to do is simply we're going to go back to 350 meters. We're going to get prone. And there we go. And we're going to... I'm only going to fire one shot with each rifle. Let's go ahead and take this shot. As close to the center as I can get, but really... the variation you'll see in these rifles does not account for 1 millimeter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to run up, as I think I said at the beginning of this video, I'm going to run up to 25 meters. Let's run up to 30 meters and zoom in with the binoculars. The reason I'm not going all the way up to the wall is A, the binoculars will give me a set objective point of view, and B, if I run up to the wall, it's going to remove my mark. So I want to be in the exact same place like this. This way it saves the mark. So this right here is the wall. Let's go ahead and here's what we're going to do. See the X4 at the top of the binoculars? I'm going to center that on this mark. So I'm going to take multiple screenshots. I'm going to combine them together outside of the game in a image editing program and put them together because these bullets are going to disappear as we're doing this test. So I'm going to go ahead and take a screenshot of this. That is the M40, and that's where it hit 350 meters. Okay, and we're just about back to where we started. I just remembered, I think I was saying something earlier. Again, remember these videos are much longer for me than they are for you because I'm editing this way, way down. I think I started to say something about why I'm only firing one shot. I'm only firing one shot because I've done this test already. Let's go over to sniper rifle. And I fired 10 shots from each rifle. And really, the grouping, even at 350 meters, is about the size of a human head. I mean, the grouping is... smaller than that. The grouping is very small, so one bullet is perfectly acceptable to get a pretty decently accurate idea where these hit. This has already been modified down stock with the T5XI scope, the M1891. Let's go ahead and try this guy. We're at 350 meters, prone, and let's aim right at the center of our marker. All right, let's see where it hit. See how much difference that is at the same distance from the M40. That's some decent data. We're seeing good data already after the second rifle. This is good and conclusive. Okay, we're about at 350 meters now. Boy, this is a lot of running. My character is definitely getting a workout today, that's for sure. Let's go ahead and swap. Why do I keep having to go back to the sniper rifle menu? Next up is the SR25. Should be completely stock. Let's just, verify this. These are, I've already gone through these completely stock. I just want to show you that they are, except for the T5XI tactical scope. Even though the scope has different zoom levels between the rifles, we definitely want to use that for consistency. Plus, it simply zooms in the farthest and lets us, better see that we're on the mark. Okay, I'm eager to see where this hits. As you can see, one of the bullets has already disappeared, so I can't say which is which now. This is why I'm saving each of these as a screenshot. And I will be comparing these at the end of the video. I know a lot of people measure bullet drop, and they probably do it comparing the scopes, saying, well, this rifle hit on the first mil dot, this rifle hit on the second mil dot, but we can't compare the scopes whatsoever. And if you saw the few screenshots I showed, go ahead, test that out for yourself. Hell, even just equip two of the different rifles and zoom in, and one and then the other, and you can instantly see the difference. That's actually how I caught it. So I'm sure I'm not the first person to figure that out. It's pretty obvious. Let's go with the Dragunov. Alright, is this totally stock? It looks a little long. Let's make sure it is totally stock. I think it is just a long rifle. Yeah. Okay, and so with the Dragunov at 350 meters, I really do think this is the most objective way that we could possibly test this. Because here we're actually measuring on, on a target. I will know in the end because the screenshots were taken in order, and each screenshot I can look at, obviously the bullet hole that's in the new screenshot that wasn't in the old one. It's too bad it's not like in real life where we can just put a piece of tape, on the bullet holes. It's really too bad. Okay, let's go to the next rifle on the list, which is the G28. Now this, I already know, has insane bullet drop. This rifle has, as far as I know, the most bullet drop of any sniper rifle, and I tested this beforehand, and this is why the marker's actually up so high, to make sure that this rifle even hits on the wall. So if you guys are a fan of the G28, then you probably already know. This rifle starts dropping off at about 180 meters, whereas other rifles are still dead on over 200. That there is probably its bullet hole. Well, we'll know when we're done. Okay, we're back at 350 meters. Let's go ahead and grab the SRS A1. You can tell it's stock by how short it is. We got the right scope on it. Let's go ahead and get prone. And so that right there must be the G28, because I know it hits the bottom of the wall. This must be the SRS A1. Okay, back at 350. 350. Now let's see what's next on the list. SR1, we're getting near the end. I think the Mark 14 is the last. No, the MSR is. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. Let's go to the SR1. Totally stock. T5XI scope. That's a nice sound. I like the way that thing sounds when she readies the action on it. The bolt. But this have a nice sound to it. Listen to that. I just want to add as a note, I love bolt action rifles in real life. There's nothing like sliding that bolt back and forth in this way. It just precisely clicks into place. I'm a big fan of it. I'm going to stop worrying about which bullet hole's which. Okay, and back here we are at 350. Let's go ahead and swap to our next rifle, the infamous HTI. Now, yes, this is all stock. Okay, just want to verify that. Let's go ahead and take our shot. Another reason it's kind of hard to measure bullet drop with the scope is some of these rifles, like for instance this one, have so much recoil that at distances, especially distances shorter than 350, like say if you're measuring a 300, you almost can't even see where it hits on the crosshairs because it hits the target before the recoil returns to, to zero. I'll let you guess which one of those two bullet holes is the HTI. You get one guess. Okay, and this runway is just so nice. I haven't been to the other ones. This is the one I've always used, but it's like right at 350 meters. Yeah, like dead on. What time is it? I'm curious. Alright, it's 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock in the evening. I started this test at sunrise, if that lets you know how long I've been doing this. Okay. This is actually not that bad. This is better than the SMG noise, because this is just running back and forth. It just takes a minute, right? L115A3. And what's funny about this is it says this rifle fired the longest confirmed sniper kill. This is one of the ones with kind of the scope that doesn't zoom in as far. Now, don't get me wrong, and I do want to clarify this. All the scope has the same zoom level on every rifle. It's just that the crosshairs in the middle appear smaller or larger. And on this particular rifle, this is one of the ones where the crosshairs appear smaller. Let's go ahead and take our shot. Ah, that looked like it hit pretty low, did it not? But, that's not how we're measuring. Yeah, that did hit pretty low. That's down in like G28 territory. Wow, who would have thought? Okay, and this should be 350 meters right here. Oh, off by 1 meter. Yeah, I like this runway. I do. So let's see what our next rifle is in the lineup. Second to last rifle is the Mark 14. This is one I like. There's a lot of sniper rifles I like for different reasons. This is definitely my go-to favorite semi-auto sniper rifle. Although, I think I need to try the SR25 a little more. It looks like it hit kind of lowish. Let's find out. I like to shoot at metal walls because you get those sparks when you shoot, and it makes the bullet much more visible. We get small little thing, signature like that when we shoot at this wall. When you shoot at a metal wall, you get big ass sparks. I say that because I think a lot of people might do it with trees and posts and poles and stuff. If you haven't, maybe try doing it with a metal wall. You get a nice, you get some nice sparkies. Makes it very visible at a couple hundred yards exactly where you are shooting. Okay, and we are almost back at the end of the runway, and we are ready for the last rifle in the test. Let's go on down to the the MSR. This is definitely one of the favorite rifles for many people. Let's make sure that we're stock. T5XI Tactical, stock, standard, stock. We're good. We are good. Let's take our shot. Oh, it's got that same action sound as the SR1. Alright. Oh boy, I can't wait to see all this data. So guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and see these results. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Now let's go ahead and get to the evaluation here. Up on the screen now is the most accurate representation I can get of where the bullets hit. Because the bullet holes disappeared, every other rifle they were disappearing, and because the screenshots from the binoculars, as you saw, were so incredibly inaccurate, I took one good solid screenshot of the wall, mapped it out on a piece of graph paper, and marked where each bullet hit according to the screenshots, because you could not compare them to one another. So here's our composite right here on the screen, and you can see I already knew the G28 would be the lowest. I already knew, because it starts dropping off long before 200 meters. In fact, the G28 has bullet drop comparable to an assault rifle. At 180 meters, you've already got to start aiming the reticule above the enemy's head like an assault rifle. It's kind of ridiculous. I did not expect the L115 to be that low, but it is. There you go. Now, during the test, of course, I only fired one round with each rifle, but I've been doing this all day. I fired 10 rounds with several different rifles, and the bullet grouping is really close. This is a pretty good readout. Now, the SR25, the M40, the Mark 14, the SRSA1, and even, you know, all of those, they group really, really closely. I think you could pretty much say that those right there, that group, pretty much has the exact same bullet drop. The main things you're going to look at is the SR1 and the 1891 have noticeably less than any other rifle, and the G28, the L115, and the Dragunov have noticeably more. There's kind of three real groups of bullet drop. If you do take into consideration that it's not 100% accurate, those ones grouped in the middle could kind of be considered the same level of drop. The HTI, M40, SR25, Mark 14, SRSA1, and MSR kind of all right about have the same grouping, although you could still say that, you know, the MSR is lower than the HTI. So there you go, guys. I'm going to go ahead and continue to leave this up on screen. That is as accurate as I can read it. I think that's the only accurate way to read it, that because that's not using the untrustworthy optics in the game from neither the scopes or the binoculars. I didn't try the drone. I'm sure it's kind of the same thing, and the problem with the drone is when I advanced the drone on the wall, it would take away the marker, so that kind of made that inaccurate. Alright guys, that's it here. I hope you like this, and tell me below in the comments what you think. And if you like this kind of content that I upload, don't forget to subscribe, because I'm always uploading stuff like this, usually every day. Alright guys, it's been a real pleasure. My name is Darkdally, and I will catch you all next time.